You're watching Tech Talk in affiliation with Tech for Techs. We're a community that supports independent trade with the help of vendors and distributors. We're live every Thursday at 8 p.m. London time, and we'll be streaming to Facebook and YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Google, TuneIn, and many more. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, and your host, Philip Griffiths.
Hello everyone, welcome to Tech for Tech Tech Talk, where we help your tech business grow. This is episode 14, Nightmare Customers, and God, I've had a few of those over the years. Right, please comment in the comments section and let us know where you're viewing from and what company you work for. Obviously, let us know that you can hear us as well. Be good to actually know that we're not just talking to ourselves. If you have any thoughts or questions on this topic, please feel free to comment. If you are watching from Facebook group, please click the link in the chat. This will allow us to see your name when you comment. Otherwise, you will be known as a Facebook user. If you have had any bad experiences with customers in the past, please let us know. Again, do not use anyone's real name. Obviously, I don't want anyone suing us because we're, talking bad about them. Unless the name's PC World for any reason. I'll let you off with that one. Right, okay, today we're joined by Jenni, Cormac, Ben, as well as Tim. So, Jenni, if you would like to introduce yourself, let us know who you are, where you're from, and what you do. And if you've got any tips, advice, or story, let us know.
Hi everyone, I'm Jenni. I'm actually the owner of Tech for Techs, and to tell you a little bit about what I've encountered this week. I've encountered a lot of scams going on, mainly people claiming to be McAfee of all people. It's usually Microsoft, Amazon, and the likes thereof. But this week it was McAfee, and they were sending out a scam email. This is not the legit McAfee. Let me make that clear. This is a scam person saying they are McAfee, and this person's subscription to their antivirus needed renewing. And the reason we knew it was a scam was he'd never had McAfee a day in his life. So I told him, I said, now you think about this. If you've never had it, your subscription can't be old because it never started. So, ignore this. I said, he had BullGuard on his machine because I put it on there. I remember that. And I said, don't click on the link, delete your email. So be mindful, be watchful, and think before you react. Because if you think about it, you'll figure it out when they're scamming you.
Yeah, there's a lot of those scams going around at the moment, unfortunately. The biggest one's probably the Amazon one, where they give you a phone call saying your Amazon needs renewing or something daft like that. Constantly warning our customers about those. So always best to, if you do know of any scams, share it on your social media or email, or let your customers know. Let's just go to chat first and say hi to everyone. So hi, Peter. Hi, Seema Smith. Hi, Richard as well. Let's have a look. We've got Mark Dennis from Rayleigh Computer Shop. We've got Maz Rhodes, evening all. And we've got Richard Creedy as well. Yeah, Great Computer Services. Always like his name. GR8, great. There we go. And we've got Alison, who was on a few weeks ago as well. So, hi, Alison from EADR. Right, okay. Oh, we got one in from Richard. Oh, he's got a few issues. We'll go back to those in a few minutes. But yeah, he's been inundated with basically calls saying broadband was going to be disconnected in the next 4 hours unless I call XYZ. Oh, yeah, I've seen quite a few of those. Hi, William, and hi, Paul, as well. Right, okay, so let's move on to, let's have a look. Cormac. So, Cormac, please introduce yourself. Let everyone know who you are. Where you're from, if they don't figure out you're from Ireland, that is. And if you've got any tips or advice or stories, let us know.
You'll figure out I'm from Ireland the minute they hear my sexy accent, Phil. So that's the story. I'm Cormac anyway. I'm from good old little Ireland. I'm laughing at Jen's tip there. without us getting sued. I don't know if it's I know McAfee in itself, even getting getting an email off them is close to being a scam anyway. Full stop. But that's our opinion on McAfee. Yeah, it's all been good over here. I've been concentrating on it a lot. On we were talking there beforehand on the refurb computers, and I'm after outlaying, I suppose, nearly 400 or 500 euro this week. I decided we have an office down here, but we don't have a shop front, you know. And if we got like this week, we got a call from a school asking us to quote for 10 refurb laptops. So I hired a graphic designer, and I got a PDF brochure of all our laptops and telling us a bit about the business. I just think it brings an air of professionality too, instead of saying, "Oh yes, we got these laptops, this laptop, and this," and especially since we can't do face-to-face meetings with the schools as such or the businesses, you can send them beautifully, and that's why I didn't go to Fiverr. I went to a proper graphic designer. Well, there'd be proper graphic designers on Fiverr too, but someone I could work with locally and who has designed my own logo here. So it's beautiful. So I said to the guy, yeah, we'll put in the quote for that, and we'll send you the brochure of all our laptops. So that's nice. And also then on, which I think is good free advertising, on the signature of my email, or any of the people working or for me, the emails, it says like, if you would like to book a time to see one of our ultra fast laptops, there's a link to Calendly where they can book the time. But that's free advertising because that's going to respond to every single email that you respond. So people who mightn't even know that you do refurb and they're emailing you about something else might kind of go, even if them saying, "Oh, could you fix our computer?" At least if you rang them up and they said, "Well, no, that can be fixed," or "It's too old," they'll know that you'll sell refurb ones. So that's we're liking that. Also, all the refurb laptops we sent out, we would sell would be all boxed. And the boxes were costing me. They cost me around €1, and there would be a big label on the front which would cost around another euro. So I decided, like, we'll say if a customer's coming to pick up a laptop that was repaired, they might be spending €100 or something. I decided for the sake of €2, I'll give them back the laptop in the box. So it's boxed. It's kind of like they're giving me €100, but they're getting back a present, if you get my meaning. It's a box labeled. We'll have the sterilized sticker over it. Once they open up the box, then they'll open it up and they'll see their laptop all wiped down, it's shiny and everything. And they'll have their little packets of sweets that you put in there, and also a little thank you card thank you for supporting local business. Now it's costing me $250. You can add it into the price, but I think it's a beautiful little touch to hand back and say, right, yeah, you might be able to go to cheaper people out there, but you're going to the best. You're going to the most professional place. You're going, and it just makes the pain of them handing over money a little bit nicer. So that's
It
what
really
we're doing.
does.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. And they click it. They tell them about the email and the brochure is like, I know I have a better chance to win that quote for those 10 laptops, which is a nice one, because there's an official brochure going out. They're not getting, people think refurb laptops, they're thinking of, secondhand laptops. I want them to be premier laptops. So that's where we're going with that.
That's some pretty good advice there, to be honest. I mean, I know that even just putting things as simply in cleaning them and putting them in a plastic bag or whatever and stuff like that when we service something, people go, they make more of a fuss that it's clean and presented nicely than the actual job you've actually done to repair it and stuff. So, yeah. Also, we've got a word from someone watching regarding Cormac's slight slip up there with his language. They want to say something to you.
You pelonka!
How long did you have that one on hold for, man? It was bound to happen to me.
I only put that one on today. I was like, oh, I probably won't get to
We
use that. But
we couldn't have said that one up better, man.
exactly. Oh, there we go.
Excellent.
Right, let's move on to Ben then. So, Ben, introduce yourself. Let us know who you are, where you're from, what you do, and if you have any tips, advice, or stories to tell us this week.
Good evening, Phil. Yes, I'm Ben Ashcroft. I run Bugs and Bytes Computing here in sunny Lincoln. Mainly laptop sales, refurbished, second-hand and whatnot, some brand new as well. So, yeah, not great news, unfortunately. I got heads up this week there's going to be more shortages coming through the industry. We've had all the great graphics card shortages. It looks now like we might be getting hit with glass shortages and IC chip shortages, which is probably going to give us monitor and laptop screen shortages. So, yeah, prices are probably set to rise across the board on those. Not brilliant, but better having a bit of preparation and be able to forward order. I've already ordered a load of screens in this week ahead of it, so.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those things going forward. Everything's going to be getting in short supply, especially with when the boats get stuck in canals, shall we say, and shipping issues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oil prices have already gone up for that one, so God knows what else is going to happen. And my tip of the day actually is going to be regarding that as well, slightly. So. Right, so let's move on to Tim. Tim's the newcomer today. So, Tim, if you would like to introduce yourself, let us know who you are, where you're from, and what you do. And if you have got any tips, stories, or anything like that, let us know.
Yes, so thank you. Yes, so my name's Tim. I run TKM, PM, and IT Solutions. I'm based in North Yorkshire, right along the coastline, so I do make the most of that. Yeah, so I think the biggest tip that I would give to anyone is never trust a customer not to come up after they've asked you to fix a computer or something, to suddenly say, "Oh, have you recovered? Have I still got all my data on it?" In particular, photos, that kind of thing. I think we've all seen it on laptops, desktops. I've seen it on tablets. Just as a rule, I always back up anything customers' data before, and 9 times out of 10, they usually come back and ask for it after. So that's generally, I say, the big tip that thing that I've learned. Never trust a customer to ask. You just assume it, and then if they do come back, you've already done it. It great gains brownie points as well. I'll say, I think this mainly what I'm doing at the moment, a lot of it is the refurb laptop market, particularly with the kids and the schooling, that kind of thing. But on top of that, I've been doing a lot of, call it educating and going out to houses, giving like lessons to the older generation, we'll say, who don't always understand what they're doing with the kit. That kind of thing, really. So, yeah, it's been keeping me busy. Like I said, the thing with the data, that's where I've learned it. I do a lot in the refurb stuff in the local market. So,
Yeah. Get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear at no end of times of people say, I don't want to back anything up. I don't need anything. There's nothing on my computer I need. And then you end up going wiping it and then suddenly, oh, I need this, that, and the other.
Well, I think
So
the best one, I think the worst one I ever had, customer said, oh, there's not that much data of my data on the computer. 200 gig later, and that was their old data. So,
yeah. I think customers sometimes don't understand what data is. You have to explain it to them, pictures, music and stuff, and even then they don't get it a lot of the time. They just think miraculously everything will turn back up. Right, okay, so I suppose it's on to my tip of the day. Well, unfortunately, it's more bad news for gamers, or at least anyone who wants a graphic cards. It looks like the shipments of graphics cards are going to be even lower next month due to a shortage of silicon. What you use to make them. They've also included shutting a few car plants and stuff like that, stop manufacturing cars because of the shortage of silicon. Manufacturers already stated that they're going to be putting up prices as well on graphics cards. So not only is there going to be less of them, they're going to cost even more. So instead of buying that £300 graphics card that you've been wanting, which is already costing nearly £1,000, it's probably going to cost you about £2,000 now. On top of that, NVIDIA has brought out its new mining GPU to basically, well, get people to buy the mining GPU who are mining, so it saves the gaming graphics cards for gamers. Well, unfortunately, the mining graphics card they brought out costs close to £800, and you can't hook it up to a monitor because it's got no ports on it. And it gives you half of the hash rate of a 3060 Ti. So what's the point of buying it if it costs you more, mines less, and you can't resell it afterwards? So obviously it's just going to go to landfill and not get reused secondhand or anything like that. So it's, I think, a bit of a waste of the environment. I think it's just marketing rubbish, to be honest with you. Right, okay, so that's my slight, it's not really a tip, it's more of a complaint, to be honest with you, but I think we're going to be seeing shortages of stuff for a long time. Right, so let's go through this. Before we go on to the main topic, if you have any thoughts or questions on this topic, please feel free to comment. If you are watching from the Facebook group, please click the link in the chat, and I'm going to put it in there again for you. And this will allow your name to be shown. You won't be shown as Facebook user. I think most people have done it up to now, but there'll probably still be a few. If you don't click that link, as I said, your name will pop up on the chat, on the screen as a Facebook user, and we won't know who really is asking the question, which can get confusing when there's 10 of you all called Facebook user. Right, let's go through chat before we go on to the main topic then. So, who else have we had in then? So, yeah, William Murr says hi. Paul says hi as well. And we've got Richard Creedy, Amazon, you have been charged £312 for an iPhone 7. Yeah, there's a lot of those scams going around. eBay as well, I've seen as well. You've purchased a TV. If you want to cancel this, please click this link and stuff like that. Hi, James. Hi, Peter, as well. And yes, prices are going up, and I don't think anything's going to change anytime soon, unfortunately. And yes, Evergreen. That's what I was on about in the canal earlier on, which, yeah, that's going to make things a little bit more difficult. So, and Richard also mentioned, yeah, the lock can also be overridden on the 3060 with a dummy HDMI dongle, as well as a driver what NVIDIA accidentally released on its developer platform. Oops. But there we go. Right, so let's go on to the main topic then. So let's go straight on to the main topics, which is nightmare customers. We all have them, unfortunately, and some of us have more than others. But it's getting that way where I'm finding that there's more nightmare customers than real customers in some cases. But please comment in chat and tell us about your nightmare customers, and please do not use anyone's real name if you're going to be putting it in there, because I don't want someone suing my backside off tomorrow. Right, let's start off with you, Jen. What's your experience with nightmare customers then?
I bet you know the first one I'm going to be talking about. But I'm going to call him Mr. HP Stream.
Mm-hmm.
He already knows, yeah. This guy came in and he had an HP Stream. That was the first strike against him right there. But I digress. He put it on my counter, and he says, the Wi-Fi won't connect. Well, what it was, he had it on airplane mode and all that. So I just, so I went in and I did it for him. I didn't even connect it up. I didn't even put the power lead in, and gave it back to him. Oh, thanks for doing that. How much do I owe you? Oh, £10, that's fine, just a few button clicks. All right, he went on his way, came back 2 hours later. Now, in this time of 2 hours, I've been serving on the sales floor, not repairs going out. So everything at the window where I had taken the laptop was untouched. So he comes back 2 hours later. He says, "You've given me the wrong charger." I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." I thought to myself, how can this be? Because that was a clean counter when he put it down. But, moment of madness, I just looked around. I said, "Let me go and see if your charger is in the window then," because that's where he put it with his laptop. Nothing there. I said, "Are you sure I gave you back the wrong charger?" He said, "Here, you try." I said, "Okay." So I went to put the charger into the laptop, and hey, it didn't work. So I'm starting to question myself, right? And I thought, let's think about this here. Did I put his charger on my desk? So I went back in the back and I looked on my desk. All the time, I knew that I didn't. But I went, benefit of the doubt. Nothing. And I said, "Are you sure that when you got home, you didn't mix them up, with another laptop?" "Now, well, how do you know?" I was like, "Oh my God, just chill out, I said, "Well, I don't have your charger, and this is the one I gave you back here." And I remembered it because it was a Delta lead. It didn't look like it belonged with the HP when I saw it, but I didn't use it. And he pitched a fit right there in the store. And I said, hey. I said, "I'll tell you what. I know in my heart of heart, I didn't mix your lead up. But if it makes you happy, here, I'll give you a brand new one off the shelf that fits it." You would think that a con person would be all right by getting a free lead. So he goes on his way. And Phil comes in about 5 o'clock. "Have you seen our Google review? Have you seen our Facebook?" I was like, "No, I've been working. Why?" The man had left us a nasty review. That he said we had mixed up his lead, sent him home with the wrong lead, and had not done a thing in the world about it.
Yeah, that was the one where I shit. Oh, yeah, carry on.
Now, what really got me was when he said and had not done a thing about it, offered to do a thing about it. I gave him a brand new lead, even though I knew he was conning me to keep the peace and to save us from a bad review and a bad reputation. I bit the bullet, swallowed 30 pounds, and gave him the lead. And he still left me a bad review. I could have spit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a bit of a strange one, that one. And yeah, as Peter says, I did actually check the CCTV after. Unfortunately, I wasn't in the store at the time, but yeah, he did walk out originally with his original cable. So there's no question about that. So for some reason he was, I don't know, probably had a few to drink or a bit too much to smoke, maybe. Hard to say on that one.
He was messed up in the head is what he was. Bless his heart.
He was. But you get a few like that. Right, let's move on to Cormac. Tell us about some of your nightmare customers, or at least one of them.
Yeah, I tell you something. As you get on in business, there's less nightmare customers because I won't let them become nightmare customers. It's as simple as that. And actually, the terminology "nightmare customer" just came to me there. It's to leave them become that nightmare customer, in the sense, if they get into your head, that's where the trouble happens. Concerning there about leaving a bad review there and stuff, that I got very annoyed when you told us that story. But I did read before, it doesn't matter, we're all going to get bad reviews, it's how you handle them. And I read something before that, if you buy something off Amazon, you look at the top reviews and the end reviews. So, like in that case, you handle it, and whatever way you handle it. But if you answer, because I will get a bad reviews, and you will. I didn't get one yet, but we will, and it's how I'm going to handle it is the problem. But nightmare customers, I'll deal with one. but they were one. She's a business customer of mine, and we get on very well now. But we had to have a very serious chat, and the chat resulted in me saying, which her name is Susan, saying, Susan, this is not going to suit me or you, so we're out, we're finished. It's not working for us, you know. Now she's still one of my biggest customers, but the chat had to happen. And even nowadays, when I go into a business, we'll say a business or whatever, and we're sitting down and they're saying, look, we're looking for someone to do, they're interviewing you to see if they'll do their tech work. I'll open and they'll say, I'm here. And I said, we'll have a chat with you and we'll see if this business is going to suit you and I. You know, I automatically turn it back. No, I'm not there for a job. I'm also interviewing ye. This is it. But it's very important for me. But my business customer at the time, she was there with my tech, and she rang up 3 or 4 times and it was on speakerphone, and she was going, something was going on, doesn't really matter. And she was like, have you tried this? Have you Googled? Have you done this? She was looking up stuff on Google, you know. And I was early in the day, and I said, oh, we'll try that there. And I said, we will get around to that. And then after a while, I kind of stopped. And I picked up the phone and I said, Susan, this is the situation, okay? I said, you put my tech under pressure there by ringing them up and telling this. You don't walk into your dentist office and you don't tell your dentist, you don't Google before you walk into your dentist office and tell your dentist how to do things. I said, you won't be coming to our premises telling us how to do things, Susan. And this is when I said, and Susan, this relationship doesn't seem to be suiting you or I. Now, I was as calm as I could be. Maybe looking back, I should have been a bit calmer. But anyway, it blew what needed to be blown off. Because she rang back an hour later and said, look, whatever. And I said, look, I'm sorry, I got a bit heated as well. And we actually have a very good working relationship now. But I won't anymore. I can't let customers get into my head, but it does, and it still does happen. We sold someone a laptop recently. It turned out there was nothing wrong with the laptop. The person, we sold it during the day to them. At 9 o'clock, we got a really aggressive email. Now, in that evening. Now, it was one of these emails. It would have been if I didn't answer properly after 2 emails, I would have deserved this third email. It was like, we'll say someone didn't get the right answer twice and then went heavy. But this is the first email. There was no need to be that heavy, you know. But what really, really annoyed me is that he CC'd Olivia from accounts into that email as well at 9 o'clock at night. And I said, who are you to be emailing my people who work with me, my team, at any time at 9 o'clock? But I emailed him straight back and I said, right, we'll give you a full refund in the morning. I didn't actually want to sell him a computer. I didn't want to give him another computer. I just wanted him gone. But in the end, anyway, he demanded. He wouldn't take the refund. No matter how much I tried, I was like, no, this one won't suit you either. No, we're happy with the computer. It's just this, and this. I just wanted to get rid of it. But the problem for my element, I didn't see that customer for a week, and that's where the nightmare went in. Every time I went to bed that week, and I'm around in this game for a while, I let that customer get into my head. And it won't be happening again. It just won't be happening again. I won't deal with customers. I think you can sense when a customer is a problem, you know. I won't deal. And I'll finish up on this. I try to treat my business as much as I can like Amazon with return policies, all right? A person came to us after 6 months with an issue with the laptop. I just brought it, which we thought, listen, no problem, we will replace it straight away. She was lovely. There was that's it, take away. I'm down a bit of money on that laptop, but I got a happy customer. It'll balance itself out, you know. But I will be very, very firm if I think a customer is taking a mick. See, I didn't curse that time, Phil. If I think that someone's taking a mick, then no. And very, very hard, very clear, as in, no, this is not acceptable. It's not happening. And no, it won't. It's in. So I think the term nightmare customers is that it's how we deal with them ourselves. Now, sometimes you just can't. Sometimes the last thing I will say, with the amount of customers we have, you are going to get lunatics. No matter what you do to them, nothing will make them happy. Nothing. There's customers I come in and I wouldn't, before I even deal with them as such, I would say, no matter what we will do, these people will not be happy. Sometimes I decide not to deal with them, or sometimes I will deal with them, but they won't be sent a link to leave a review. Trust me on that one, all right? you could have
Yes,
given a
Cormac.
gold laptop, you know.
I had a man come in the store one day. He was looking to buy a brand new laptop, and money was not an object. But I had repaired his laptop in the past. I didn't sell him that laptop. Each one he looked at, I said, I don't think it'll do what you're wanting it to because, and I had a reason it wouldn't do what he wanted it to do. Any of them would have worked. I just didn't want him to deal with him. He says, I do believe you're deliberately trying to sabotage this sale. And I thought to myself, oh, you're quick, aren't you? But he was right. I mean, I didn't want to deal with him anymore, much less having to have a warranty on some goods. Oh, no. Get out of my shop. Bye-bye.
That's it. Sometimes you just have to know when to just say no to a customer or sack a customer. Even I've had to sack a few over the years. I'm getting more to the point now where I'll sack them for more reason. Before I'd used to go, oh, we'll keep on going, but now it's like I've got the money coming in. We don't have to deal with this rubbish 24/7, right? And I'll give them a warning and basically say if you can't sort it out, you're gone. We had one a few weeks ago. Two brothers who run a business together, and basically, it got to the point where they were both saying, "Right, I'm the one in charge. You need to contact me. I'm the one in charge," and then they would fight between each other. I don't know what they'd done to each other, but they hadn't spoken to each other apparently for about 4 years. So I was the go-between. I was like, right, I'm just not having this, and just basically emailed them and says, sorry guys, can't work with this. Your warranty on your stuff ends next month. I'll cover your warranty, but anything else, tough luck. You're going to have to go elsewhere. And then they come back begging, and it's like, no, sorry, I just don't have time. I don't have the willing or whatever, especially when you get 24 calls from them in one day. It's just like,
Yeah.
and then you still get another 20 odd calls afterwards. You tell them that you don't want to use them anymore. Let's just go into the chat. Let's have a look who we've got in chat. So, we got Mike from Mike's Unboxing, Reviews and House 2. Hi, Mike. How are you doing? If anyone's not seen his channel on YouTube, feel free to take a look. Let's have a look. We've got Joris saying hi as well. Let's have a look. Richard Overfield's give us a good one here. Oh, wow, it's a big one. This one is. So let me get that on a different screen so I can read all that. So basically, had one today. Ordered a copy of Office 2019 to upgrade from 2013. He asked us to install it for him, which we did. He called this afternoon screaming that we had charged him £250 for our time, and he still had the same problem with his emails. But he actually never ever mentioned that he had an issue with his emails when he came into the store. Yeah, we get a lot of things like this where customers come in, purchase something, think it's going to fix their issue, and they don't actually tell you why they're buying it or whatever. That's one of the things we try and stress is like, why are you buying this? Because a lot of times they'll come in and like want to buy a power cable for the laptop because it doesn't turn on, and 9 out of 10 times it's going to be the socket on the laptop rather than the power cable. So,
but don't you know we're supposed to be mind readers?
Oh yeah, obviously.
I'm supposed to be able to wave my tech wand and presto, I can read your mind.
No, it's your magic screwdriver, not a wand. But
you
yes.
call it what you want to.
So, yeah, and Seamus is basically replying to Richard, who just said that is laugh, cry, and other. So, yeah, so Richard again. The only good thing about the bad customers is that it makes you appreciate the good ones a little bit more. That's true. I must admit, it's always nice when you have a customer who thanks you, maybe gives you a bottle of wine or even a bottle of vodka once, box of chocolate.
Yeah.
Christmas cards, you know the ones. So, Facebook user said, "Click on my link." Unfortunately, we can't while we're on a live show, but I'll have a look at that later. Oh God, this is a long one. So, this is from. Had a girl contact me on Sunday in a tizzy because the Dell laptop wouldn't power up, and she was under pressure to get her coursework finished for the next morning. And I got her to drop it in there. And then found out that the GC jack was split. Let me just see the rest of it. and so got stuck into it and had to repair and power up. Ready to go in the hour, charged her £40 for the job, so that's pretty cheap, to be honest, especially for an hour for doing it quick like that. She contacted me a week later complaining that it went off again and she wanted a refund because her friend's uncle, who knows about compute, oh god, I hate those ones, the friend, the uncles, the brothers, the I don't know, Father Christmas's cousin, whoever it may be. I hate those ones. Oh god! Right, as soon as I hear that, I turn off basically. Right, and I've even lost where I was reading now after that one. So yeah, so the friend's uncle who knows about computers fixed it by removing the RAM. So apparently,
Oh my God.
they removed the RAM to fix the power socket. Or whatever. Yeah, you get a few like that. So. So yeah, no more Sunday favours, that's for sure. So yeah, I don't blame you there.
Yeah.
I would not do any favours like that. I used to, but now I've got to the point. If it's a customer, very good customer, someone on a contract, something like that, I'll go the extra mile. But especially if it's someone who's I don't know of, I try and go the extra mile, but I'm not going an extra 2 miles. Let's put it that way. So let's have a look what Peter says. So, on the rare occasion we get an unhappy customer who do tend to ask ourselves if the situation was at all our own making. Did we ask the right questions initially? Did we set expectations correctly? Could we have done anything differently to avoid the... unfortunately, it doesn't all fit in chat, so...
I know what he's getting at, though.
Yeah. So, but could they have done anything to avoid just one of those customers, basically? So, yeah, sometimes I think it doesn't matter what you do, what you ask, what you say, you're going to get those customers. Unfortunately, they're going to. They're going to basically be a pain. So, right, sorry, Joe.
I said it was sort of like one day I got a customer. It wasn't even opening time. I was doing my pre-work opening procedure, and the door was unlocked. The lights were out in the front of the store, so that would be your first clue. And I heard the door open, and I said, "Phil, is that you?" And no one answered. So I came around the front, and there was a man standing there in the middle of the store. Well, immediately I felt sort of intimidated. And I'd only seen this guy a couple of times, and I didn't know him real well. And I said, "I'm not open yet." And he just barged his cell phone into the store even further. I said, I am not open yet. And by this time, I'm about ready to go somewhere and call somebody, because, over here you can't do anything to protect yourself. But I digress. I came around and he says, "My laptop's not working." I thought, "Don't you hear? We're not open yet." But I, being a good person that I am, I looked at his laptop. I went and cut the light on and everything. I said, "Yep, we're open." And real sarcastic light, and went ahead and went to look at his laptop. And about that time, he, what's the best way to do it? He decided he was going to touch me inappropriately. That's the best way to say it. And when he did, it took great restraint not to deck him. Because if we had been in the United States of America, people, he'd be laid out in the funeral parlor. But I went to the door, key in hand, and I locked it. And I dialed for the police to come out. And I said, "Now, first of all, here, I've had a break-in and entry, being I was closed to begin with." I said, "So we got that, and we have inappropriate touching. And while I'm on the phone, bless my soul, the man breaks out a camera and starts taking pictures of me." And I said, hey, what are you doing? You don't have my permission to take pictures." "Oh, I'm going to take them and put them in my memory book." I thought, "Oh, no, hell no, you're not. No. Bleep me out if you have to." But no. And I told that police officer, I said, he's also taking pictures without my permission. The police, I hate to say it, they didn't do anything. They didn't do a thing. I could have handled it on my own better. So he's the only customer that I've had to ban physically from my shop. Only service he would get is he had a product under warranty with us. And through the warranty, Phil said, if I have to deal with him, I'll go to his house to warranty the product. He can't come in the store. And we made that agreement with him. So there's a part B to it, but I won't go there. The part A is the only relevant thing. It just should not be. That should have never happened. He should have never come in the store. After I told him 2 or 3 times I'm not open, he should have said, I'll wait till you're open to come in if he was serious. He should have never touched inappropriate, and he should have never snapped that picture. And ladies and gentlemen, if you get touched inappropriate out there, call those police, make them come around, make it have a record of it.
Yeah, that's true. Unfortunately, it was a bit of a strange one, as you can probably tell.
Bless his heart.
The police actually took his, because it was a camera, not like a mobile phone, actually took his camera away and looked at his camera and found out there wasn't even actually a memory card in his camera. So he was taking pictures with nothing, basically. So he was a little bit strange. I won't go into step 2, but I had to go around his house and embarrass the hell out of him in front of all his friends and family. We'll leave that for another story and another day.
Revenge is Sweet will be our topic for that show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I think that will be a definite. So Seamus says, I'll sack a customer who phones me at Friday night. Yeah, I agree there, but my phone's generally on mute by then, or silent mode, or whatever. Right, so let's move on for the chat. We'll go through Ben and Tim in a few minutes. Just get caught up with chat first. Actually, no, I will get caught up with chat in a few minutes because we're getting more chat coming in. So let's go straight to you, Ben. Tell us about some of your nightmare experiences with customers.
Good timing for this show. I've got one word for someone who absolutely hates selling items. I know you said don't company drop. It's a big company. They're not going to go bust out of it. eBay. End of year coming up. I'm getting ready to apply for a mortgage hopefully next month, so I'm trying to get my end of year figure as high as I can. So I'll sell a few things on eBay just to sort of year-end boost. Put a couple of gaming laptops on. Grade A condition gaming laptop this was. It went for a bit less than I hoped it would go for, but that's eBay. You get less for your auctions, are a bit of a gamble, and you get less than you will if you retail it in a shop or private sell it. Lovely machine, had 2 little scratches on the lid, which I pointed out in the auction description, and I put on the pictures to show these 2 scratches. I sell a lot of machines to trade, and I send a lot of machines away, and I very often get complimented on the condition of the machines, that they're very good and very well described. So this guy got this gaming machine that he paid £450 for, minus eBay fees. And he starts on a barrage straight away about how it's in really poor condition because the lid's got scratches on it. And I'm just kind of like, okay, here we go. So he starts on about, I said, well, I put the pictures up on the auction, and I put in the description the scratches, and I put pictures of the actual 2 scratches on the lid. I says, so it's as described. I've not lied to you and said it's absolutely perfect. It's a 3-year-old laptop. I says, what would you like me to do about it? He says, I'd like a discount. And he basically wanted a £50 discount on this laptop. For these 2 scratches on the lid. And I thought, I'm a fair guy. I'm a really fair guy. And you look after your customers, but I'm also a very assertive guy. And I said, look, I'm really sorry. I'm not getting involved in a £50 discount for 2 scratches which were mentioned. I said, if you don't want the machine, I says, by all means, send it back. I'll give you a refund. I says, but obviously I've got pictures of what the laptop was like when it was sent to you. and I'll expect it back in the same condition. And I was quite assertive. I was quite firm with how I wrote the email. I didn't write it in an aggressive fashion. And of course, he comes straight back to me about 20 minutes later. Oh, I'm going to leave you negative feedback because you've been really rude in your last email. I said, well, I wasn't rude. I was just informing you of what your options are. I said, I'm not going to discount you. I said, I've already sold the laptop at probably less than I could get if I retailed it here. I said, I've got eBay fees to pay, which is 10% fees. I said, so there's less of a margin for me to sort of say, look, if you're not happy, here's a discount. I said, just send the item back, So it's got this huge situation now. He's escalated it through eBay, and I'm waiting on this laptop coming back. I'm dreading thinking what this is going to come back like, what he's done to it,
You gave him the option, though, to return it for a refund if he wasn't satisfied. I mean, to me, that's pretty good deal right there. It's not like you're being impossible saying, well, you got it now. You knew what it was like. Tough luck.
Yeah. And like I say, I actually took very close-up pictures of the lid to show the scratches. Mm-hmm. It was like the only 2 scratches on the whole laptop. The rest of it was like pretty much immaculate condition, I mean, I might have just been really unlucky, but I've sold a few things on eBay over the years.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of issues. You get no end of time wasters who don't pay. I mean, I put 5 auctions in total up on eBay over the weekend, and 2 of them, I got non-paying bidders. 2 of them sold fine, and then there's this one that the guy's just been a bit a prat about, really, to be totally honest, So, yeah, it's put me off selling on eBay, and they've changed the whole payment system to the managed payments instead of PayPal now, and that's bringing its own problems with it as well. So, yeah,
it's. I was never a fan of eBay selling on it. You get more people, not complaints, but more problems on eBay than anywhere, it seems, to be honest with you. But what I would have done in that case, I would have sent him a sticker to stick over the scratches. And that would have been my solution. Here's the sticker. I'm giving you a free bonus with this. You can stick it on your laptop.
Here's your sign.
Yeah.
It's a shame because I was actually on eBay back in the day, as it were. I joined eBay in 2003, and it was a really good selling platform back then. You got decent prices, and the fees were quite low back then. You didn't have all the non-paying bidders, and the fees are going up and up and up, and the amount of new users are going up and up and up, and PayPal fees are going up and up and up, and eBay more and more sided with the buyers, pretty much to the extreme now that the buyer's always right even though they're wrong.
Yeah.
And it's just totally really alienated me from selling online. I'm very happy selling trade and very happy selling to end users.
Well, at least you're able to make a living out of it anyway. That's the main thing. So, but a 10% fees, I wouldn't like that. I can just imagine my card terminal company saying, "Yeah, it's 10% for everything you sell." I'll be like, I'm not doing that. So I'll go back to trading in gold or something like that if they're going to do that. Right. Okay, let's move on to Tim. So, Tim, have you got any problem customers or had any in the past?
Yeah, I've had a few. These were all when I first started up doing my own business. Like I said, lessons learned, we'll say, especially when they come running back to me to try and sort problems out as well. But yes, I put together a custom PC together for a customer's kid who wanted it for gaming, that kind of thing. They were on a really tight budget. Really short and sweet. I got it agreed with them. Got it all in black and white. So I made them sign it on, sign an agreed sale agreement to the build. You name it. You can see it's working in commercial, but you can never get it. It makes me do things by the book. But yeah, short way of putting it. They come back about 2 months later, whinging and moaning that it's not working, it's not fit for purpose, it's not doing it. They haven't come to me at all in about 2 months. And I'm hearing rumourville going round where I live that they're talking about me as well. So then when they do get hold of me eventually, I get them to bring the rig in, and I say, okay, well, if it's exactly as I built it, it should still be under warranty for all the parts. If there is a faulty in the part, I can just send the parts off and get the parts replaced free. So the mum brings the computer in, and I have a look. And what they don't realise is, before I do anything, I always photograph the inside of the PC, the serial numbers on the parts, and the boxes, you name it. So I've got a record of what I've received, and I make sure it matches what's on the order, that kind of thing. Well, I looked in there, and it had brand new. It had a different graphics card, different serial number on other components. You kind of get where I'm going here. Ask the obvious question. So what was the thing I mentioned about, did we ask the right question? I just said to them, has anyone looked at this? And denied it outright. Short way of putting it, they got a so-called one of their cousins to upgrade it, who they kept through the power of Facebook, and a bit of investigation that I did. I found out that they got his cousin to upgrade it, who just happens to build PCs himself. Yeah, and they didn't like it when I found this out, and I said, look, I told them straight, no, my supplier is not going to do any warranty on any of it because you've already disconnected it or you've taken it apart, or it's totally invalid. So any warranty I provided, my parts warranty, any of it, it's all void. But yeah, usual thing. Still kept talking locally about it. I quickly nipped it in the bud though when I pointed out to them that I've got it all in black and white, and if you want, I can start. Dare I say, I wasn't going to do it, but some people everyone thinking they're not God's gift, but they're really nice, angelic, and they're quite big in the local community with what they do for charity, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And this was one of those people. And behind closed doors, I know what they're really like. Like I said, if I name names, she probably would try putting something on Facebook. She's that kind of person. But yeah, I just made the point. I've got it all in black and white. I've got the agreed sale. It nipped it in the bud, but it was a lesson learned. So, and yeah, they tried the negative review thing, which, thanks to the power of Facebook, you get a negative review on Facebook, you can actually remove it. But
yeah,
and then you ban them from anything else they might try on Facebook. So put a ban on the page. So kind of nips it all in the bud. But yeah, so that's probably the worst one I've had. But I think we've all had plenty of others like that. But yeah.
So that is a good idea, though, that you do with taking the pictures of the serial numbers and the boxes and everything. That's pretty good because you have documented proof then of what is in that machine when it leaves. And if it comes back with an issue and you need to RMA or anything, that's proof right there. So that's a really good thing to do.
Yeah, the other thing I do that's a little giveaway is I found a supplier that actually does this. You talk like Apple's trick about putting stickers in certain places or just as signs you've broken a seal. I got, coming from the background I got hold of someone that does security seals on electric cabinets, that kind of thing. Yeah, I've got some custom stickers that I put over side panels, that kind of thing. So yeah, it was pretty obvious when this thing came back.
Yeah, you do have to watch out for customers like that. I'm going to say we've had quite a few in the past where they bring something back in under warranty and they're like, yeah, it's not working right. And you open it up and look inside and you're thinking, well, I know I didn't supply that. I do not use that part or that software or whatever. You just know straight away this is not right, or the cable tidying's not how we do it and stuff like that.
But Phil, you know that I'm the cable tidy queen. So if it comes back looking like a rat's nest, somebody's been in it. So.
But you know what's good as well is now, like I use in Synchro and we all have our systems. I had a customer ring up and she said, look, she said, I had my computer in with you, and I think she said the Maile isn't working, or something like that, and we'll just call her Mrs. Smith. I said, that's not a problem, Mrs. Smith. And I said, 1 second there. I said, Mrs. Smith, the last time you were on the hair was one and a half years ago, And she goes, "Oh yeah." And I said, "I'm sorry, no." I said, "But after 1.5 years, like I said, you can't really go back to your mechanic after 1.5 years and say there's an issue." But that's like the thing is, she didn't declare that to me when she no,
Yeah.
once she bought, she was chancing her arm. You know, she was definitely chancing her arm. But straight away, when you kind of come back with, "Well, Mrs. Smith, you know, you were here on June 14th there at 11 o'clock," they kind of go, "Whoa," you know. So yeah, we cover
Mm-hmm.
ourselves, you know?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty. Right. Let's quick go on to chat. So let's have a look. So yeah, thanks for the shout out, Phil from Mike. That's good. Mark says, let's have a look. You just can't help some customers. We leave them at the front door and recommend suitable competitor to visit. I must admit, we do a similar thing. We've got I'll say competitors, 2 local stores. One we send stuff that we don't do and we know it'll get repaired right and they're a good place, and then we've got the place where we'd send customers to which we know they're going to be a problem, let's put it that way. So I must agree with that one. It's best to send them elsewhere if you're not wanting to work with them. Let's have a look. Okay, Cormac's off, so yeah, he's just disappeared. So see you later, Cormac. So right, so Robert says, I always remember if it's your premises, chuck them out. So yeah, that's a good one. So
That applies to me on one that I was talking about earlier. Yeah.
yeah, you just have to watch it though for chucking people out though, because sometimes they'll use certain reasons and accuse you of certain things. If you chuck them out, maybe nothing to do with the reason why. So always be wary. It's usually some form of discrimination in one way or another. They'll blame you for it, even though you didn't know anything about it. Sometimes.
I had one guy come in one day and he says, "I bet you won't serve me." I said, well, first of all, what do you want?" And he was drunk. He had been to the pub and he reeked. And he says, "I know you're kind." He says, "You're a Tory voter and you're not going to serve me." And I thought, where is this going? And he says, "You don't like people with disabilities either." And I said, "You know what?" I said, "I don't have any kind of person that I look down on. And I will serve anyone in my store who is nice to me. And sometimes I'll serve you even if you're not." And I said, "So can I help you today?" And he just turned around and walked out of the store. He was trying to get me and test me is what he was trying to do. You'll get people like that.
Yeah, you do get a few people like that, unfortunately. Mike says he's in the studio filming some B-roll. If you don't know Mike, as we mentioned, he does unboxing reviews and stuff. So he got out of the retail support game a long time ago. He misses the challenge, though, but not the hassle.
I hear you, Mike.
Yeah, the hassle can be a bit of a pain, to be honest, and I can see why plenty of people get out of the trade. So, and it's not always financially, it's because they just can't deal with the customers.
I have to say, working in IT, I actually find it quite tame compared to my last job that I worked in.
Really?
I was a bus driver for nearly 10 years, all 6 feet
right.
of me. Ended up leaving the job because I had a bad back, because of my height, sitting driving cramped up bus cabs all day. I had some real nightmare customers in that job. I think the worst one, and it ended up being in the local news. This guy got on my bus one day, and I can't remember if he was drunk or if he was drugged or what it was. And he basically ended up, the very end of the situation was the police got called to the bus, and this guy got tasered by the police over 10 pence. So, yeah,
Wow.
very extreme, but yeah, there's worse customers than working in IT.
Yeah, I suppose there is. I think there's one thing though, when it's when they're attacking your business, it feels
Yeah.
more personal, if you know what I mean. Because it's
Yeah.
not they're not just attacking you; they're attacking something you've built up and you've made and so forth. At least if you've worked for somewhere else, you can sort of like, oh well, sod them, let's go on and do something else, sort of thing. After 5 o'clock or whatever time you finish. But yeah, I must admit you can get some crazy customers.
Yeah, 'cause I think because part of the reason after I started my own business really was because I was always helping people out with computers, working in the I say commercial world. I'm talking like construction. I was always the unofficial IT guy on the project or in the office or where I was. So I thought, blow it, I want to do it myself. So I've got a lot of pride in what I build, and I mean, I've got you said we've all got multiple customers that try and get to you. I have had someone that I cut. Well, say it got really nasty to the point that they were trying everything to the point of you say using reviews to destroy your business. They just put some oh, I can't use the word. It's probably going to get beeped out, but rubbish, I will say. But
There you
yeah,
go.
I can deal with an awful lot. But yeah, I was literally they were just getting everyone to attack my Facebook page beyond the point. I had to disable it for about 3 days. You know, just to get the till it calmed down. And that did get to the point where it got very personal and that kind of thing. But yeah, so like I said, I mean that it's it's a bit all been dealt with, but yeah, you get the ones that are absolute crazy, and if they don't get the right answer, even if they know you can have them for it after through the right means. But yeah, I think we all have pride in
Yeah.
what we do, what we build. That's we don't the time as well. So
Yeah, no, I
Is
must
he
admit.
breaking up for you, Phil?
Yeah, it just started breaking up towards the end, but it cleared up again. So, right, okay. So let's just quickly skim through the chat. The last comment come in. Yes, Ben Ashcroft. We should all get tasers and standard issue kit in IT. Yes, Seamus, I agree with that one.
Riot
So,
gear.
yeah, we should have that. I did see a comment down there as well, again from Seamus. Again, Jenni reaches to a hip for a 9mm dangling in the UK. You're not far off, but I'm pretty sure it'd be a
Close but
double-barreled
no
shotgun.
cigar.
It'd be a double-barreled shotgun, more than likely, knowing her. So let's have a look. So Richard Overfield says, we finished early work at Christmas Eve and all went to the pub, went back to the shop at 9 p.m, and someone had knocked the door saying he was desperate for a USB printer lead. I said 20 quid. He said that he's not got 20 quid, so I replied that they are at 9 p.m. on Christmas Eve. He tried to return it in January and saying he didn't need it after all. There was no way I was taking this lead back. Yeah, especially if you've opened or sold him specially at 9 o'clock at night on the Christmas Eve. Right, Facebook user, again, Facebook user comes up if someone hasn't clicked the link I've put in the Facebook group, which I've put the link in again. He says, hi, Gary, sorry I meant to jump in at 8. I'll join from now and replay the first part, sorry. Okay, Facebook user. And I think that was Drew, actually. He wrote his name down. So from Greentail Tech, by the way. So yeah, click that link, Drew, and then it'll ask you to do you agree to this, that, and the other, and it just allows Facebook to put your name on our chat. We go on from Richard. So my biggest nightmare customer was a national retailer who ordered around 400 custom-built PCs from us on a 30-day term, chased for payment and got excuses after excuse. After 90 days, I called them and asked if they wanted a warranty on their PC. Let's have a look again. It's a bit too long. On their PCs, they were puzzled, but when I said if they didn't pay in 48 hours when closing the business, they paid straight away. So yeah, well, that's one way of doing it. So another
I'll have to
Facebook.
remember that.
Yeah. Another Facebook user, eBay sides with the buyer in most cases, no matter what. I've heard of eBay even admitting so to a scammed seller. I wouldn't use it to sell. It's a professional scammer's home turf. Yeah. I think some people make it pretty well on eBay, and then it can be difficult for others. So I think Ben's an exception to the rule, but I still can't get over 10% fees, to be honest. That's just wow. But then you've got postage and everything in as well, haven't you? So right, we've got Seamus again. Back when I used to reflow PS3, that's PlayStation 3, if you didn't know, consoles, I had one come back for warranty, rework, but I let's have a look. Knew it was not the console I had worked on. So basically, someone sent him a different console in for a repair, basically, from the original one. So, but he didn't have any proof otherwise by the looks of it, and hadn't recorded the serial numbers at the time. Lesson learned, though, never happened twice. Yeah, so you get burned. Don't let it burn you twice. Make sure you write serial numbers down, take pictures of them, and so forth. A good way of doing it is when you do a build for someone is keep the receipt and keep a copy of the receipt or the shipping info, what you've got from your supplier or whatever, and write the serial numbers down and everything and keep it with the file for that customer, and that way you can trace it. Let's have a look. Peter says, you had my computer recently checked 18 months ago, sir. Yeah. So, yeah, you get a few of those. One thing I must admit, what I do a lot is, you get these customers, and a common thing is I bought this computer from you, or I got it repaired, and we've not used it since we bought it from you, like 2 years ago. And you're thinking, what? You bought a computer just to sit there and do nothing? And one thing I always do is run a program on the machine. There's Crystal Disk Info, HDD Tune, and a few others, which will tell you how many hours the hard drive's been used. So when they come back in next time, you can run that tool again, and it'll tell you how many hours it's done. So you can see that it's done 100 hours, 1,000 hours, 10,000 hours. Also tells you a few things about the drive, if it's good or not as well.
I like doing it in front of the customer.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's fun. I'll go, oh, look. Oh, wow, they are. Oh, wow. It's like a jet airplane taking off in hours. Oh, my God. And you say it was in the what? In the wardrobe? Man, you've got a magic wardrobe. That must have been to Narnia or something.
Yeah. So yeah, you do have to watch out for these customers like that. I must admit, we get a lot. I think it's a very common one. We even had an email today. It's like, oh, I bought this laptop and it's practically new. It's 5 years old and I've only used it once.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like,
right.
Well, how do you know there's something going on with it?
The funny thing is that then they'll say, "Do you want to buy it from us?" And I'm like, right,
if you don't want it, why do I?
You wanted to sell a brand new laptop, which is 5 years old, which has no problems, which is as fast as everything, so you can sell it to buy a new one? Yeah. That don't make sense.
We don't buy from the public. We don't.
You get this on Facebook selling pages a lot. I saw this last week. It was a 12-year-old dual-core laptop, and they said it's 2 years old, only used 3 times.
Yep, I've seen that loads of times, yeah.
And it's very overpriced, like £300.
As long as it's not Windows Vista, Ben.
Refrain from telling a joke live on air, Phil.
I hate that. I hate Windows Vista. I hate it. Oh, God. It's a resource hog, that was.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Right, let's have a look. Seamus comes up and says, the amount of times I've had someone come back to me nearly a year after a repair, and the first thing they state is it was never really right after they got it back. Yeah, that's another one I've seen. Oh, yeah, we got it repaired from you like 10 years ago, and it's never been fine since. And it's like, well, and it took you 10 years to tell us. It's like, and you live the next road over from the store. I've probably passed you about 20 times and you've never said a thing. Yeah, but we've never used it. And it's like, yeah, right. I bet you if you agree to us looking at your history on your internet, I bet you have used it.
Now, there is another kind of nightmare customer that we haven't discussed today. And that's the kind that rings you up every week with something new wrong. And it won't be anything to do with their computer. It's to do with the user. I'm being not very nice here. There's one particular person who rings me about once every fortnight, if I had to guess. And it's usually to do with her email. And I've told her every time how to resolve this. And I have walked her through it numerous times. Does she do it? No. She just sends it back for us to work on. And unfortunately, she's under a maintenance contract. So she pays, in advance for our services to, our beck and call, and we have to go out. It's not as simple as saying, "Oh, I'm booked up. What a shame."
Yeah,
Can't do it.
but she's used up all but one of her slots for this year. Bear in mind,
We
we're
have
not
to
even
start
4 months of the year
making
yet.
sure that we put
So-
take a list, of how many times a customer has been in on the contract, so that it wouldn't be abused because of this person.
Yeah. So
She's
we don't
the
know
one
we have an
that
issue.
caused it.
But you always get that one. I keep saying it. You always get that one customer. You don't. You get lots of those customers. But yeah, you get some people who take advantage of it, and
She's
the
a
same
bit special, bless her heart.
Yeah. Oh, just an idea what she's doing. All she's doing is basically going on to AOL. Yes, people still use AOL, not the actual AOL browser, but the email. And they click on these news stories. And these news stories are full of rubbish. It's usually, how, I don't know, Clarkson has made billions of pounds, and you click on the link and it's some scam to do with Bitcoin or something like that. So, yeah, so you get a few things, and then she'll end up getting a virus on there. She'll bring it back in, and same thing over and over. So, but yeah, it looks like Seamus is definitely on the ball tonight with the comments, I must admit. So
It sounds like he works with me on a daily basis, because I'm sympathizing with so much. It's just like, oh, you have my heart on those.
Good link there from Richard Overfield. I haven't looked at it myself, so I'm not endorsing this myself, but I'll pretty much take what he says as good. So we avoid warranty issues with tamper-proof labels, 33 quid for 10,000 of them. So, and that's at AliExpress. Again, I've not used those ones personally, but yeah, I'll probably have to have a look at those, because the last lot we got were absolutely appalling.
They were horrible.
They fell off
you had to tape them down. That was what was sad.
Yeah, you put the warranty sticker on, and you have to put sellotape over it to keep the damn thing on. Which was
it looked
a bit
all
pointless.
manky with the sellotape, because you could see the fingers had been on it. It was horrible.
Yeah, Robert says nothing better than saying, "I'd rather you took your customer elsewhere." So yeah, that's always nice to say to a customer. It's like, "I'd rather you take your customer elsewhere," or he says, "I don't think we can meet your expectations." That's a good one. That's
That's the better one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or polite-ish.
I have said something similar to that and followed it up, but I know someone who can. And I always have this one tech person that I send them to, the unloved tech person.
Just catching up with chat now, and Seamus, yeah, it's that one about the tasers and so forth.
Yeah.
And just for you, Seamus, because of all the comments you've done tonight, I'm going to play you a very special clip.
What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? What you talking about?
Oh, I used to love that show when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's a pretty good show, that one. I must admit, I used to love that one. I think when we first met, we pretty much watched it for a whole day once, in the middle of a storm and floods and all sorts.
Yeah, we were on a camping trip in a pod, and it was just storming and flooding, and you couldn't get out to get food or anything because it's gale winds and stuff. And so we sat in there and binge watched different strokes and had the best time.
I'm sure my age have never heard of it.
Oh,
You've
it's
never
great.
heard Different Strokes?
Different
Oh.
Strokes. His name is Gary Coleman, and he's probably about 15 in that episode clip that you've just seen. He had a kidney transplant, and it stunted his growth, so he looks like he's a real little tyke. But he was a brilliant actor back in the day.
Yeah, even when he was older, he just looked the same, didn't he? I think the series probably went on for probably about 10 years, and he just looked the same age near enough all the way through. So let's have a quick look at chat again. So Facebook user, we have a small rounder's back kept under the counter in case we've got someone kicking off and start getting heavy-handed. Leave one more having someone attack me. Tip I heard unofficially from someone with that one, and I don't know if this was true or not, so don't get me done if you do hit someone with your baseball or rounder's bat, is if you get attacked or something, make sure the rounder's bat or the baseball bat is sitting in the back somewhere and you accidentally step back into the rounder's bat and it falls into your hand. And the reason it was in there was because you were going to play sports later on. But again, that's not official.
I heard that you have to have the ball in there with it to make it official, that when you come out and say, I was going to go and play later, and the police officer says, well, where's your ball? You can hold it up and say, here. Then it's not a weapon. But, it could. I don't know how true that is. But,
it's all speculation. And I heard this 10 years ago, so it's probably
if you go in our store and ask me to play rounders, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, and if I see in the Facebook group that half of the group's been arrested tomorrow because they've been hitting people with sports equipment, then it's nothing to do with me.
Richard Creedy says fire extinguisher. I like your style, Richard. I like your style.
I think we've all got those handy, yeah.
You accidentally thought you saw a fire on someone. Right, so Seamus again. I've had customers saying I've not used a laptop since, and I'll even open up Event Viewer and see it's been in constant use every day for months. Yeah, and smirk and ask, "Did you bring me the right laptop?" Customer dying on the inside. Yeah, we've had ones like that, and they'll say, "Oh, we're not using it," and we'll say, "Oh, well, that's strange. Well, are you the only one who uses it?" And they'll say, "Yeah," and we're like, "Well, either you've been using it a lot, or someone's been using it without telling you." Because the times don't add up. It says here that someone was on here yesterday. Do I have permission to have a look at your Google Chrome history? No, it's okay. And it's like, I wonder why. But obviously, if you're going to go into people's Google Chrome history, make sure they give you permission, because obviously data protection laws and stuff like that. So we'll start looking for
Paul
stuff unless
is cracking me up.
So we'll get to Paul in a second. This one's actually from Paul anyway. So we keep all receipts, invoices on Google Drive. Other cloud-based platforms are all available. Serial numbers, records on these. Yeah. So keeping them on somewhere like that. Google Drive's always good. It's always good to have obviously a copy on your PC or something, just in case Google decide to go bust. I doubt that's ever going to happen, but you never know. They might get hacked.
But yeah, that's pretty much how I do it. I've got a copy on cloud system. So I've got a machine I take into the office, which it doesn't really have anything on it. It's all accessed from the cloud side of it, but everything else is at home and it's backed up. I've got 3 or 4 backups of the whole lot. So yeah.
Well, that's definitely. Yeah, hi Jay. This is a nice one from Seamus, and I nearly didn't show this one because of what it says, but it's ask holes, people who ask but don't implement anything you advise.
That's what the lady is like that we were talking about earlier, that caused us to have to implement new rules into the maintenance contracts. Yeah. That I will remember that, Seamus.
Yeah, he's definitely on one tonight. Oh, that's for sure. So, yeah, Richard mentioned the fire extinguisher. Paul says Jenny giving them all good tips today. Yeah, if it comes to weapons and stuff like that, she's the one you need to talk to. You always
I'm a
wonder why
Southern girl.
improving.
You don't wind us up.
Yeah, exactly. So she's part Native American as well. So watch out. So right. So Paul says reminds me of that video of the tech who sprays the guy with bear mace.
I saw that. That was great. He's my hero.
Yeah,
he really is.
And Jay says hi and says he's late. Yes, Jay, how dare you turn up late to the show? Make sure you're on time next week, 8 o'clock. It's an actual special. Cormac O'Donoghue or Cormy or that Irish guy you can't understand.
The King of Ireland.
He's going to be interviewing me and Jenny next week. So apparently he's going to ask us loads of difficult questions. And well, we're supposed to answer them, so it should be interesting.
It's going to be a royal showdown, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, we're going to have the Irish guy, the English guy, and the American. What can possibly go wrong?
Yeah, exactly. So, yes, Jay, don't be late next week. Right, next up we got Richard. He's the last comment coming in. If anyone else has got any more comments, send them in quickly. Otherwise, I'm going to call it after this one. So Richard says, we once had a customer who hadn't paid for his work machine yet. It brings it back saying it was slow. We checked the temporary files and he'd been looking at porn websites at work. Yeah, this is a common one. He thought he cleared stuff, but we all know that most porn sites can have... Have a look. So it's not showing on my screen. Boy knows most porn sites can have dodgy software. Okay, I was wondering where that one was going. So yes, yeah, watch out for that. That's for sure. So Jay says was working late like a good boy. I'm not going to ask. And Chris says my worst customer. Let's have a look. This was their first one-star review. Bullied into immediate repair, not offered an option or advice. They did not respond to emails, quite ironic, but will record all your personal information over the phone without informing you prior. You will be led to pay... Let's have a look. To pay over phone and then find out your card details being shared. Later find out the court summons will be sent. Steer clear, rip off merchants, don't care, and so forth. So yeah, so not a good experience there. So that was from Chris. Is there any more comments before we call it a night? No, looks like it. Do you have anything to add, Jen, Tim, or Ben?
Cover your back. Make sure that you have, if not serial numbers, a packing slip, and write down to whom you sold it to on there. That way, if it comes back under warranty, you've got Mr. Smith at the top on your invoice from whatever your supplier of choice is, and you will know.
Yeah. Well, Chris has just sent one in. I'm not going to read that out because it's going to take me all night. But if anyone wants to read that, feel free. It's in the chat. But yeah, you should watch out for a few different things, especially if it involves court summons and so forth. I think we should do a show. Would be a good one. Is how to deal with bad customers in the future.
Yeah, follow up. Yeah.
Sort of a follow-up show. So, right, guys. I think that's pretty much it for tonight. So just remember, me and Jen will be on next week with Cormac at 8 o'clock. Cormac will be interviewing us, so that should be interesting. If we can understand what he's actually asking us, we'll be answering some of his questions. Luckily, he's not here, so we can't comment on that one.
Or maybe we won't, you know.
Yeah, you never know. We'll probably ask completely different questions. All right, so I'd like to thank Jenny, Ben, Tim, and also Cormac, who disappeared earlier on, thank God, because we couldn't understand a word he was saying anyway. So if you are an independent trader, store owner, MSP, tech, vendor, or distributor, you can find out more information about Tech for Techs at techfortechs.co.uk/join. Join over 1,100 members just like you that can give you free business or tech advice. And did I say it's totally free to join? No membership fees or costs to you. Now, when you do click that link, or you go to our website, or click join, or whatever it is, make sure you fill in the questions. If you don't fill them in, you don't put your website in.
You ain't getting in.
Yeah, exactly as Jen said. Getting in, and you can hear how bossy she is, so you don't want to be at the other end of that. So you will not get in if you do not fill the questions in. It's an automatic no. Don't get me wrong, we'll give you a week to answer those questions so you can go back to the same page, but if you don't, you won't get in. Simple as that. So make sure you fill the questions in. So again, thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting independent businesses. We will see you again next Thursday at 8 p.m. for the Tech for Tech story.